My name's Tom Adams. This is Coomshead Farm. It's been part of an agroforestry project to become productive from a fruit perspective and planting 3 shelter belts for wind protection and spray protection from neighbouring farms. The plantings have been done in conjunction with current production. There has been like a small sacrifice of strips of land that were perennial pasture for livestock. They've all been guarded and fenced in a way which means we graze through the trees. Particularly in this day and age, you kind of have a responsibility to manage the land, be a steward of it. I think in the last 120 years, we've lost 160 ancient trees in the valley. So the aim was to begin regenerating the valley.
My name's Vicky Williams. We're on the River Inny and I manage 30 acres. We were looking at having future livestock in the fields and providing shade for livestock, and we've planted along the river to provide a bit more shade over the river to keep the water cool and just take some carbon footprint away of us and hopefully other people.
I'm Rose Barnacle. On Budinick Farm we run 250 acres with cattle and sheep, which you can see all around you being very prolific at this moment. Forest for Cornwall has been flexible with us about what we've planted, but particularly where we've planted it and how we've planted it. Biodiversity on the farm is a really key thing for us. We feel this is a home for all kinds of wild creatures as well as ourselves. So we really want to do what we can to enhance the habitat while still maintaining a viable farm business. All our planting is alongside existing hedges. So we're basically enhancing the environment of the hedge, we're thickening the hedge. And we've also tried to link different woodlands, so use our planting to provide a kind of corridor across the farm. We've now got fantastic fencing around 5 fields that are our boundaries that we didn't have before. Plus, we've got a really kind of good, strong, dense tree belt behind each one of those. Farmers are increasingly thinking about environmental measures that they can take on their farm.
Making sure you invest fully in the initial plantings, I think, is absolutely key, and get a balance of nitrogen fixing trees within that planting.
In the first year, we didn't use any guards, and actually that was kind of a disaster, really. Rabbits not only came along and nibbled them, they'd actually pull them out of the ground. So invest in the protection of the trees, I think, is important.
We didn't know how to plant or space trees or anything like that before. We have learnt an awful lot, and I think that planning is key. You think, oh, 40 trees, that's a heck of a lot, but they just disappeared. In hindsight, we're not overcrowded. We could have got some more in. So that's our mission now. Every opportunity, we are planting trees.
All the fencing's been paid for, all the trees have been paid for, the costs have been completely covered by Forest for Cornwall. Economically, it made sense for us to get that grant to do the fencing. And not having to spend so much time putting up electric fences and chasing sheep that are in the schoolyard, you know.
Forest for Cornwall covering a lot of the initial outlay for the planting, to be honest, has been absolutely fundamental. It eliminates so much of the liability, I think, particularly for farms in this day and age where you're working to quite tight margins anyway.
Forest for Cornwall, they've given us help, their knowledge. I would really say to anybody that's got a little bit of land, plant trees. It has been really lovely thing to do.
It's fantastic to be working in a scheme where you can pick up a phone and have a conversation with someone. I feel much more confident about establishing something that will survive whatever the climate throws at us. This is our contribution to this farm that's been here for thousands of years. This is what we've done for it.
Well, if you're worried about productive land becoming less productive by putting trees in, I think it's just looking at the long-term benefits. You might never see that becoming productive, you might not see those trees come to fruition, but if we all have that mindset of current productivity, then we'll always degrade stuff because we'll just think about the present. So yeah, I'm kind of all for it. I don't have any regrets at all.